New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year. What's up?
And welcome back to another episode of OFPG Voices.
Yeah, give me a little hand bump. Let me get a fist bump on that one. Yeah.
Yes, so we're changing things up this year in 2024.
Yes, we are.
So we're trying to be a lot more cohesive with our shows. So this episode, we have a theme, and it is Woodland Creature Games.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
and all of our contributors came through with some Woodland Creature Games.
Yes, but I'm excited about the Good Human segment.
Yes, I am too.
Yes.
But this week we're going to have Jazz, who's going to give us a great review.
Yes.
Ruel's got a top 5 you don't want to miss.
Yes.
And Dwayne and Alicia from BlackBoardGaming are going to teach us a new game.
They teaching, family. They teaching, yeah.
Yes. And then this week we have a guest contributor for Good Humans.
Yes,
so it's not going to be me this
It's not
time.
Starla. It's not Starla.
Yeah, so we're so excited, and we're going to go straight to that guest contributor, who is Scott Woods,
Yes.
an Emmy award-winning writer and poet.
Yes.
So take it away, Scott.
Here we go.
Hello, my name is Scott Woods, and I'm a writer and board gamer in Ohio. I've been invited on the OFPG Voices to hit you with an installment of Good Humans. This is the month of New Year's Day, practically a season unto itself. This is the time of year when we feel like we have all the potential in the world and commit to doing things better. It's a reset button on some aspect of our lives, where concepts like commitment and self-improvement are right on the surface of our minds, and for a little while at least, our calendars. And like most seasons, that New Year commitment phase usually comes to an end in a couple of months. But there is a powerful takeaway from that New Year energy. The idea that it's never too late to recreate yourself, to improve on a thing, to learn something besides the hottest board game rules. There is no dictated season for change. You always reserve the right to become a better person, and in doing so, make the world a better place where you are. I have had to recreate myself several times. I had different focuses, different agendas, different politics, different levels of skill. Some years back, I used to do like 12 different creative things. I made music, I painted, I wrote screenplays, I built railroad scenes, I DJ'd, I did competitive poetry. I had my house tore up trying to figure out what I was trying to be. And one day, I sat down and took an honest account of where I was at with each endeavor and whether or not I was succeeding at them as I defined their success. Some of it was okay, but could be better given more focus. The other things, I was just not great at. So I sat down, made a list of all the things I was into, and then cut that list in half, vowing not to do 50% of those things for 1 year, just to see what would happen. Almost immediately, I noticed that the things I kept on the list improved, and not just quantity, but quality and reward. You can tell the age of a tree by its rings, by how many times its bark is shed and grown back more resilient. The tree is always itself, but trees also level up. Trees gain experience and become stronger the longer they grow. Human beings do something similar, though we don't have the rings to show for it. The human body replaces billions of cells every day, and most of your body every 7 to 10 years. Unlike trees, we can decide to reinvent ourselves immediately, anytime we want. And if our bodies are always in a state of reinvention, why not our ideas, our experiences, our behaviors and taste? When you think you know everything, you can't take in new information. Your cup is full of ego or business disguising a lot of fear. So we have to always be assessing the person we are, stacking ourselves up against previous versions of ourselves to see if any growth is happening. The lesson we should be taking from that New Year feeling is that it's never too late to improve ourselves, and in doing so, make our respective corners of the world a little better. New Year's Day is just a date on the calendar. We get to make those new plans and commitments anytime we want. Good luck, and let's go be good humans.
What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Jazz from the Lobby of Hobbies, and it is 2024, so happy New Year to my OFPG Voices fam and the viewers out there. One thing we're not starting this year off right with or strong is my voice, so bear with me as we get through this one. But every new year, people are coming up with those resolutions, especially gamers are trying to get the games off of that shelf of opportunity played. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one to your shelf of opportunity right now. One more couldn't hurt. So we're talking Woodland themed games or Woodland creature themed games this episode, and I could have talked about games like Root, Everdell, another one that I enjoy, My Little Scythe, but I wanted to talk about a game that went under the radar for me, and when I found out about it and I played it, I really enjoyed it. This one is Inheritors from North Star Games designers Jeffrey CCH and Kenneth YWN. This is a hand management tableau builder card drafting game. Plays 2 to 4 players in 30 to 45 minutes, and you are trying to inherit the throne because the king is dead, and to do that you're trying to influence one of these 5 clans. Yes, the lion's out there. He's a jungle themed character, but you can swap out the lion, throw in the wolf, and then you'd have all woodland creatures. So how is Inheritors? What does it play like? This one kind of gives me the feel of Splendor a little bit, but this is a strictly card game where there's going to be a tableau of cards out on the table, and each player will start off with a hand of 10 cards, and pretty much on your turn you're either playing a card out in front of you to influence the clan members, or you are discarding cards to draw new cards into your hand or to potentially get quest cards. So the tableau out on the table in the center is going to be quest cards that you can gain, and when you gain a quest card, if you complete it at the end of the game, it's like a secret objective. You'll score 2 points if you complete it, 1 point just for acquiring it. There's going to be some honor cards out on the table. Now honor cards are going to be face-up goals that players are trying to race to complete, and if you complete it first, you're going to score those points at the end of the game. And then there's going to be clan cards. I said you're trying to influence the clan members. There's going to be 1 member of each color clan out on the table, and if you play up to a number 3 of a specific color of that matching clan member, you can gain that clan member into your tableau and gain their specific special ability. The key thing is that you can only ever acquire 1 clan member, so choose your clan members wisely. So you might have a 3 of a blue out there, but you really want the clan member, maybe that it's the yellow clan member, which is the wolf, all right, because you want their special ability. So you have to wait until you get the 3 of the yellow out on the table. So how do you gain these characters? You're going to be playing cards into your tableau, and you have to always start out with playing a 1 of specific color, and then after you play the 1, then you can play the 2 of that color, and after you play the 2, the 3, so on and so forth until you've played the 6. The higher the card number is in that specific color out on the table, the more points you're going to score at the end of the game. Again, once you have a 3 out of a specific color on the table, it allows you to acquire that clan member. So you're going to be playing those cards out. You can also play what they call advocate cards. So you have things like the spy that allows you to steal cards from another player. You have the advisor that allows you to draw some of the face-up cards, 2 of the face-up cards in the center of the table. And then you also have the conspirator, which if you aren't able to play cards in subsequent order, let's say you don't have the 3 out on the table yet, but you have the 4 of that specific color, you can play this conspirator. It allows you to skip the 3 and play the 4 instead. So these are the types of cards you're going to be playing, and the game pretty much, the trigger is once all of the 5 quest cards have been removed from the center of the table along with the 5 honor cards, that triggers the end game, or once the draw deck in the center of the table is depleted, that triggers the end game. We go to final scoring, and whoever scores the most points will win the game. Now, what I like about this one is it plays fast. Like I said, 30 to 45 minutes for 2 to 4 players. There is a 2-player variant, which I think a set number of colored cards come out. You only play with 4 of the clan members because one of the colors is removed from the deck. But plays fast. I really enjoy the variable setup with different quest cards, different honor cards, again, different clan members. There are 2 of every clan color in the game, so you can randomize that setup. But I like the push your luck element of, am I going to really go for that maybe green clan member right now? I have the availability to get him. Or do I really want to go for the blue clan member because maybe I like that strategy of what that ability allows me to do? But I really enjoy the game. There are even some cards, they're called tome cards, that if you have them in your hand, the most of them in your hand at the very end of the game, you'll get a set number of points. So managing your hand, managing how you discard cards to be able to acquire quest cards, to be able to complete the honors, really is one that makes this game shine for me. It's one that caught me by surprise. This was a 2022 release, but I think it's maybe labeled in some spots on the back of the box says 2023. So it's a 2023 game. So definitely check out Inheritors, especially if you like hand management games. Again, it gave me that Splendor feel with, Splendor you get those noble cards, but this you're getting these clan members. So if you like that, check this one out this year. Again, I said I'm going to give you a game to add to that shelf of opportunity. So there you have it. Happy New Year. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this one, but I'll see you on the next one.
Hi, OFPG family. I'm Ruel Gaviola, and today I'm sharing my top 5 Woodland Creatures games. Now, these are games that have cute critters all over the place, and I love this type of theming, and I'm going to kick things off with my number 5, Everdell. This was a huge hit a couple of years ago, and this features that big old Everdell tree right there in the middle. It's got table presence for days. Worker placement with tableau building. You're trying to create your own little critter city, and you're going to do that placing the workers and then managing resources to build those buildings throughout the game. And I think my favorite thing about this is the really cool way it does the seasons. So you're going to pass into the next season, which means your round is over, but it's not at the same time as other players. So that's a really cool thing where you can be at one part of the game and the next player can be at another, and then your other opponents can be at other points of the game, depending on how many actions you use per round. Really interesting way to do worker placement, and I really dig it. Next up is my number 4, Creature Comforts. This one is super cute. I love this, where you're trying to build your coziest home ever, and you're doing that, again, through worker placement. But this time it's got this really cool twist of using dice to determine where your workers go, and you have a pool of dice that you share with your opponents, then you have your own dice as well. And everyone's going to roll them, and what makes this really special in my book is that the workers, you're not blocking each other. Everyone can go anywhere they want as long as your dice can allow you to do that. You're welcome to do that, and you're going to be, building those hopefully beautiful homes that score you the most points. Number 3, My Little Scythe. Now, what would you do if you took My Little Pony and mashed it up with Scythe? Boom. My Little Scythe. I love the story behind this. You could read more about it online, but basically it's a father and daughter duo who came up with the idea, and Jamie Stegmaier over at Stonemaier Games said, do it. Let's check it out. And they've come up with a wonderful game, and I call it Scythe Light. It's basically Scythe, but it's super family friendly, very streamlined, and you're controlling cute critters in a tournament trying to pick up and deliver gems and apples to the main castle. And you can level up your actions, you're going to have battles, and it's very Scythe-like, folks. And I wouldn't call this a kid's game. I definitely call it a family-friendly game, but there's some more things going on here than you would expect. And I liken it to like a filler. If you want that, scratch that itch of Scythe without having to be there for 2 hours, check out My Little Scythe, and if anything, do it for the fights, which have been converted into pie fights. Number 2 is Fit to Print. Now, this one is very near and dear to my heart, friends, because it's a game about cute critters, woodland creatures, publishing the daily newspaper. You're going to play it over 3 rounds, not 5, 3 rounds. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday edition of the paper, and you're doing this in real time using polyominoes. I love polyomino games, and this is one of my favorites because of the theme, but also the puzzly nature of it. You get a real-time round where you have to get your, pick your stories and your photos and whatnot. You're going to score them differently based on what sets you collect. Some are going to be sad stories, happy stories, photos, different parts of the paper, sports, finance, etc., and you're trying to do this in real time and make everything balanced so you'll be able to score the most points. Now, I love it because it has that real-time element, but those of you who don't like real-time, there are options where you can play this as a turn-based game, and I highly recommend it. It's fun to do the polyomino thing, and that's why it's my number 2 fit to print. And finally, my number 1 game is Root. This is, I feel like, the Woodland Creatures game of games. It is the one that really shows what you can do with a very accessible theme, and put it on top of a heavy game. This is a war game at its heart. Now, I don't want to scare anyone off. It's not heavy, but it's definitely something that rewards multiple plays. The more you play it, the more you're going to see the complexity and depth. You're going to learn the strategies of the different factions. It is cats and birds and mice and a raccoon all fighting to take over the forest. I mean, it's cute, but underneath that all, it has some really cool things like asymmetric factions, like truly asymmetric. Like the cats, they are engine building, and then the birds, they're programming. So it's literally 2 different mechanisms, and all the different factions, including the ones that come in the expansions, totally different, but they all work. You're going to be crafting, and you're trying to battle, and there's combat. But it's so brilliantly done. The asymmetry works well, and it's a race to 30 points. So if you can get the 31st, you're going to rule the forest, folks. And again, Root is the one that shows that you can take super cute themes and put them on almost any type of game. And I love that because, you know, gamers and non-gamers, they see the theme, they're going to want to check out these games. Modern board gaming, folks, that's where it's at. So thank you again for watching my top 5 Woodland Creatures games. Love to hear what yours are. Place them in the comments below, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
What's up, folks? I'm Dwayne
I'm Alicia.
from the YouTube channel BlackBoard Gaming. Today, we're going to take a little walk in the woods to check out some forest critters.
Today we're going to talk about Forest Shuffle, designed by Kosh and published by Lookout Games.
Let's go to the table so I can teach you how this game is played. To set up the game, we will first place this game board in the middle of the play area in reach of all players. And this game board will be known as the clearing. Then we're going to take these 24 reference cards and we're going to place those next to the clearing. Then each player is going to get one of these cave cards, and they're going to place that cave card in their personal play area. There are 180 cards in the game, which include these 3 winter cards. After we place these winter cards off to the side, we will take the rest of the cards and give it a good shuffle, and then we will remove a number of cards to the game box based on the number of players. Next, we will divide the remaining cards into 3 face-down piles of roughly the same size. And then we will pick one of those piles, and then we will take 2 of these winter cards and shuffle it into that one pile. And then we would take the 3rd winter card and we would place it on top of that pile. Then we would take the other 2 piles and place those piles on top of the pile that has the winter cards in it, and that's going to form a complete deck, and we're going to place it on the left side of the clearing. Each player is going to draw a starting hand of 6 cards. Now, one of the types of cards that you will draw from the deck are tree cards. So if a player does not have a tree card as part of their starting hand, they can perform a mulligan, which means they would take those 6 cards, returning them to the game box, and then draw 6 more. And they can mulligan once. Fortunately, I have a tree card. I have 2 tree cards. Once everybody has their starting hand, the player who last took a walk in the forest will be chosen as the first player, and then we can start the game. On a player's turn, they can do one of 2 possible actions. The first action they can do is they can draw 2 cards, taking them one at a time, either from the face down deck or from the clearing. Now, right now, there are no cards out in the clearing, and I'll explain how cards end up there in a little bit. Now, keep in mind that your hand limit is 10 cards. So if you take the draw cards action and you have 9 cards in your hand, You can only take one card. The second action a player can take on their turn is to play a card from their hand into their play area and then check the clearing. Let's look at the types of cards that can be played from your hand. Here you have the tree cards. You have these cards that are split top and bottom, and these cards split left and right. And if you look at that top corner, that is the cost to play that card. So if I wanted to play this silver fur, I would have to pay 2 cards from my hand, and I will place those cards into the clearing. So let's say I decide to play this silver fur. I would play 2 cards from my hand, place it in the clearing. So if you look at the bottom here of the clearing, whenever a player plays a tree card from their hand, we have to reveal a card from the top of the deck and place it into the clearing like so. Now to play these tops and bottoms and left and rights, so let's say I wanted to play this card here. I will have to play that cost of 1. So I will play 1, and you will slide it under trees that you have in your forest that has a space. So only 1 card that can go on the left, right, top, and bottom of a tree. And so I play that. I pay the cost. And so same thing with this card here. So top and bottom. So let's say I decide to play the bottom. I will play that card. It costs 1, and I will slide it up underneath, hiding the top of the card. And now I can do that with all the trees I put out into my forest. And you can have as many trees as you want out into your forest. And so now also, sometimes when a card is played, you will get a bonus or an effect. So if we go back to this silver fur, if you see here, there's a bonus. So all these cards have a type. There are 8 different types. And so if I could put any card in the clearing to pay for this silver fur, but if I place cards into the clearing that actually match that symbol, I will get a bonus effect. So let's say I did that, then I will be able to place an animal of that type, play that out into my forest for free. So let's say I got this card here, it has that symbol, so I'm gonna place him on the left of the tree because the right is already occupied. And so now with this tree, I can only place another card up top. So I can start placing more. I want to get more trees out into my forest. After playing a card into their forest, the active player will then check the clearing. If there are 9 or less cards in the clearing, nothing will happen. But whenever a 10th card will end up in the clearing, then we would take all these cards, discard them, moving them into a shared discard pile, and then play will continue. So, of course, the object of the game is to score the most points. So I'm going to give you a quick example of how points are scored. So if you look at this silver fur here, it's going to score 2 points per card attached to this silver fur. So right now, this silver fur is scoring 6 points. Over here, this dormouse is going to score 15 points if an animal with that symbol, a bat, also occupies this tree, which it does. So this scores 15 points. This one will score 5 points if you have 3 different bats or 3 different animals with that symbol in your forest. This wood ant is going to score 2 points per card below a tree. So right now it's scoring 4 points. This doesn't score you any points, but it gives you an effect. Every time you play a card below a tree, you get to draw a card from the deck. This lynx will get you 10 points if at least 1 roe doe in your forest. So if I was to draw this, I have room over here, so I could tuck that under there, and I have a roe deer. And that's going to score me 3 points per animal with that symbol. When the first and second winter card are drawn from the deck, we will place them next to the clearing and play will continue. But when a player draws the third winter card, then the game will end immediately. And then all players are going to count up their points using the score pad included in the game. And then whoever has the most points will be the winner of Forest Shuffle. So as you can see, this is just a simple card game. Very easy to set up, not a lot of rules to teach.
And the art, the art is so realistic and beautiful. But what I love most about this game is there are so many ways to score points.
Yeah, this game will make you think because there's so many options you have to score points when you're building up your forest.
You have to decide whether you want to use the cards to build up your forest or to use them as currency.
Because in order to play cards into your forest, you have to pay cards out into the clearing, you know. So yeah, this game is really, really, really fun. And I enjoyed the way it makes me think, you know.
I love all the options you have. And of course, its table presence is breathtaking as well.
Yeah, once you see everybody's forest is built up. So if you really like nature-themed games
that require some strategy,
you should definitely check out Forest Shuffle. See you guys later.
All right, we are kicking off the year with a great show.
It was a great show.
Great show.
It was a great show. Great show. I mean, Scott Woods, you know, how we can change, you know, every year we can change. And, you know, we're just like a tree. You know, he brought in the tree. You know, we're just like a tree because a tree can change all the time. We can, too.
I mean, he just did such a wonderful job.
Yes.
I mean, it was just a great fit having Scott, you know, give his opinions and listen to him talk. I just love the things he says.
Yeah, I need to follow him, y'all.
Yeah, he has such a great mind.
He's a wise man. I'm telling you, he's a wise man.
And we've already invited him back to come do another episode later on in the year. So make sure you don't miss that one either.
Don't miss it. Hey, he mics drop all the time. So definitely check him out.
And for more information about Scott, go to our website.
Yes.
We've got our guest contributors on the website. So go to our OFPG Voices page, scroll down to guest contributors, and you're going to see information about Scott. And we had Chaz Marlowe last year. So we've got more guest contributors coming.
We got more guests coming, yes. Now, another thing, Starla, our contributors. Love them.
I don't know what to say.
You know, Jazz, now he introduced me to a new game.
I know.
Inheritors. I want to check that out.
Me too.
I didn't know anything about that one, and I'm so glad that he let me know. He let me know. And then, Ruel.
Top five.
Top five. Mostly all of them I know about. Mostly all of them I've played except for My Little Sites. I haven't done that one.
Yeah.
I like the regular sites.
Yeah.
But, you know, Fit the Print, that's a good one. And then, but Root. Woo! Root is something else. Now that is woodland creatures all day long, but you know it's kind of hard to teach sometimes because everybody got a different you know goal. But there's one basic thing that you do. But it is a fun game. It is fun, and they give you so many different factions that you can play with. I like it.
Now you know my favorites on his list were Everdell.
Yes, Everdell
and Creature Comfort.
And Creature Comfort.
I mean
definitely.
those are cute little woodland creatures. I love those games.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yes. And now BlackBoard Gaming.
Dwayne and Alicia.
Hey, come on now. Forest Shuffle, that really looks good. We haven't played that. We don't have that yet. We haven't played it, but I definitely want to give it a try. And they have convinced me to find it and try it. Definitely. Now, Starla, what about our merch? What's up with our merch? Where can we find that?
Well, if you're looking for a shirt or a cup or a mug for OFPG Voices or Our Family Plays Games, be sure to check us out on Spring. And make sure if you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe.
Click the little button.
Tell a friend. We are trying to grow our numbers. We are still on that road to 30K.
Yes, we are.
We're almost there. We're a few thousand off.
Yes.
And if you guys will subscribe and tell a friend to subscribe,
keep on.
You can hit that number.
Yes. And now our next episode is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks because we're going to be traveling.
Yeah.
So it's in 2 weeks on January 24th. So definitely make sure you take a look at that one, y'all.
Yes. In that episode, we're going to be talking about nature-themed games.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so every episode, we're going to have a new theme.
Yes.
You know, really trying to do something different in 2024.
Yes, we are.
And make these episodes more cohesive and, you know, and pulled together. So we're going to have a theme for every episode.
We tighten up the ship, y'all. We tighten it up. We're trying to give you a better product.
A better product,
that's
a
what
better
we're always
show.
trying to do, yes.
Because we want to keep you guys coming back over and over again.
Yes. Now, Starla, where can they find OFPG and OFPG Voices now? Where can they find us?
Well, if you're looking for Our Family Plays Games
Yes.
and OFPG Voices, you can find us on Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram,
Yes.
Twitter,
Yep.
right here on YouTube.
Right here.
And don't forget to visit our website.
Yep.
And TikTok.
TikTok. Family, thank you so much for coming out and looking at these beautiful faces. Lord, I love these voices. They're so beautiful. If you have any questions or comments, definitely put them down below. Again, Happy New Year. Hope you're having a good New Year and hope you have a great 2024. But there's one thing we want you to always know all the time, and this will never change. We love you.
Bye
now.
everybody.